So today we've got an interview with Sean, who's a super cool guy. He actually broke a new record by making $2,500 in 12 hours after joining my community. So I wanted to sit down with him and ask him how the hell did he do it? What message did he send to the prospects? And how can you do the same? So if you are interested in signing more clients through outreach, then I highly recommend watching this video. We share some cool insights and it's just a chill conversation. So get a coffee and enjoy the video. Introduce yourself, maybe what your offer is, who you help, just some basic stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, Sean Timberlake, not related to Justin, but basically, I run a marketing agency focusing in on running ads management, lead filtration, mainly for like doctors, lawyers, med spas, that kind of industry. And then, now we've added in that AI portion, thanks to you, Charlie. It's been nice to have all those workflows in there just because it adds a little bit more to my offer. And the good part is too, with the rising CPMs and everything that everybody's complaining about right now, it's definitely very valuable just because it's one of those questions that a lot of people ask is like, I don't want to spend all this money to ads, so we've now thrown that in there. So I guess you can say it's like AI marketing agency as of right now.
Okay, yeah, got it. But you originally started as a general marketing agency, and
Yeah.
what was the main offer? Was it like ads or something like that?
Yeah, it is basically like a 3 month retainer, just managing their ads, creatives, that kind of stuff. I did provide GHL services, so I was providing the CRM and like
Yeah,
my workflows, but most of the workflows that were created were just created by GHL, and I just claimed them as mine. So that was just kind of like how I had it set up. But yeah, just a very generic marketing agency.
yeah, sweet. I think that's quite similar to what most people's offers are. When I'm
Yeah.
curious, when did you join the community?
I think I joined like 2 weeks ago or something like that. Been doing like marketing agency for several months now, but I joined about 2 weeks ago. I was watching your YouTube video. It kept popping up when I was looking up for lead scraping because that's kind of like one of my big
Yeah,
things is you know, yeah, I spend money in ads, but it's also nice to get a lot of like organic leads as well because that's all profit really at the end of the day, outside of paying my media buyer. But I started seeing all these AI, lead scraping tools. The I forget what the app's called, Merga Recorder.
yeah,
Utilizing that has been a huge help because I'll just record myself, go to the gym, come back, and then next thing you know, like I have like hundreds of pages of leads that I used to be paying Apollo and all these other lead scraping tools, several $100s plus a month, in order to data scrape. And now I'm doing it for less than like $5, which is really, really nice.
yeah. I think that smoothly brings us onto the Facebook group scraping. See, I know you joined and then you posted like I don't know how long it was after you joined, but it was actually probably a few days or so, maybe less, that you got a client from Facebook groups. So I assume you used the strategy inside, right, in terms of scraping the Facebook groups and reaching out. But I don't know if you want to walk the viewers through that because I think a lot of people are trying to sign clients, and obviously you got a client really quickly through Facebook groups. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you want to explain a bit on how you did it.
Yeah, for sure. So, I had not been tapping into any Facebook groups because it did not cross my mind. So when you had mentioned the Facebook group, data scraping and whatnot, is I data scraped it and then moved a lot of the contacts over to GHL and then just started having conversations with people. And honestly, it was the first message I sent out was the person that bought and they bought that night. So it was literally like within 12 hours of sending my first text, I closed a client on, $2,500, which was pretty crazy because I had not even considered that as an option. And then since then, I think I've now had 3 or 4 appointments that I've gathered through Facebook groups, which has been really, really nice. But basically, I went out there for Facebook groups. I found something that was kind of related to myself because one of the biggest things I always have issues with is like the trust factor. It's online, right? So when I got on there, I messaged, I'm a veteran, like a US veteran. So what I did is I joined a bunch of like veteran business chats, and so when I got in there, everybody's a vet. So you kind of already gained credibility already, and they were all business owners. So I just started messaging them, chopped it up a little bit about, stuff that was relatable, and then rolled right into the conversation of, hey, if I was able to get you, 5 to 10 appointments over the next month or you don't pay, is that worth a chat to you? And then that sparks the conversation, which was kind of nice. And then I would say one of the other things that I learned that was very helpful is I send voice memos as well. So that way they know I'm not a bot. So once they start responding, I jump on Facebook and actually will voice chat back to them. So that way it seems a little bit more organic. And right now, I think Facebook his limit caps me at like 10 messages a day, unfortunately. But so that way I can take it a much more personalized approach. kind of like what you do with iMake and have all those personalized messages, ChatGPT already kind of like personalizes for you, makes it much easier because that way that first one is pretty personalized automatically, and then everything after that is just me kind of taking the reins.
Okay, so do you actually do you like comment under their post in the group first to like build rapport and then message them, or do you just straight go to the member
Just
section?
I just straight message them like straight up. I mean, maybe I can start doing the commenting. That might be worth it because I think I could probably get more comments now thinking of it than I could DMs because I get capped out at 10 DM requests a day. So maybe the messages would be better because technically they would be messaging me back in the DMs, not me messaging them. If
Yeah,
that makes sense, that probably might
yeah,
work actually a little bit better. But no, I do like straight out cold, right?
yeah.
Just message them.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would think about adding maybe a few comments in groups because I actually did some research. I put a post into the school community, I think yesterday or the day before, and
Hmm.
I found that like the number one way people are getting customers and clients right now is actually going into groups in their niche and just commenting under other people's posts. So if someone like in your group of your veteran business owners, if they asked a question, you just like responding on the comments and then you can reach out to them and it will probably have like a double first reply rate if I had to guess. But that's what a lot of people seem to be doing, which is interesting.
Genius. That
Yeah.
optimization, and that's what it comes down to, and that would probably help out a lot because I think right now my response rate is like 30% right now with just the DM requests, or just sending a message. That I think right now I'm at like 30%. But for booking percentage, I think it's at like 20%. So usually once they respond, it's a pretty good chance that they're going to book as well.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
okay, so you're going with the offer, which makes sense. Like a no, like it's a risk reversal offer, right?
Yeah.
You're saying that you only get them. And in terms of getting them on the appointments, once they respond, I mean, do you do follow-ups? I assume you do follow-ups, right? Or not?
Yeah, I use a little tracker thing like where it says like follow up and I have the link. So I just click the link and then tick the box once I do all the
Yeah.
follow ups. Yeah. So for those that don't know, Charlie gives like this dope ass like Excel
Yeah.
file. You literally just go down, once you message somebody, you put their Facebook link. So you can just click the link, go to their Facebook page, type up a follow up message. And honestly, you could probably automate this as well, which I probably could start doing. But it makes it much better because now I'm following up with everybody, and sometimes people that didn't respond on the first request responds on the fourth request, which just shows like it's just consistency and time and like putting in the effort.
Yeah. I think that tracking sheet's really good because it's not like confusing. You can quite literally just pop in everyone who you message and then just make sure you do the different boxes for like you follow up once, twice, three, four times. Um,
Exactly.
and I have seen people integrate. I mean, I made a video on this where you can actually use make.com. So when you place the URL into the actual like tracking sheet, it can actually generate like a voice note on Google Drive, and then you can basically hold down the like button on like Instagram or Facebook, and
Mhm.
it will play on Google Drive, and then you can hire a VA to actually do that for you.
Yeah,
Like
but
that's probably the next move for you because I mean, to
I think
scale, yeah,
I definitely think it is because it's funny that you actually said that. I was actually on the phone yesterday with somebody to hire on a VA. So like that would be great because now I can literally give somebody my voice without giving them my voice, so that way they can because I found like one of the best responses to keep the conversation going was my voice. So
yeah,
that actually makes it much easier. I gotta go find the video. But that I didn't even know about iMake. iMake is like game changer. That I didn't realize like how much it integrates with so many systems and automating things. It's insane, dude. And so and, like iMake's crazy, and then I just really unlocked the mini chat one. That one's awesome as well too. That application because it integrates so well with Meta, Instagram and Facebook because I think they partnered with them.
yeah, 100%. I mean, I think Instagram and Meta, they don't like having automation on their platform unless it's like inbound. But
Yeah,
yeah, platforms like Make and Go Level, they obviously partners with Meta, so it's obviously acceptable.
yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, in terms of you scaling what you're doing, I think that's interesting because yeah, if they limit it to like 10, I think definitely commenting on other people in the group as well as just like posting videos. Because I assume like, is it just Facebook groups that you're using now to get clients, or are you running like ads and stuff?
So I run, I'm kind of doing just a shitload of things, man. I'm just trying to see like what's working.
Yeah,
So just to kind of put it in perspective, so I run ads, but I run engagement ads that go into a messenger, and then the
yeah,
bot you have me set up keeps the conversation going. I do the Facebook groups. I do Instagram DM outreach, and then I do this LinkedIn. I use something called Dripify. I don't know. You
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
know about it. So I use that for automation for LinkedIn messaging. And then the other one that I use is cold calling. So yesterday I cold called. I actually filmed it for a YouTube video, which I'm going to be dropping today, which is I called 25 people to see how many booked appointments. I actually booked 4 appointments, which was kind of crazy out of 25 cold calls, and which is like a hell of a good percentage. I was not expecting it at all. But I recorded myself just because I've been realizing the YouTube is
yeah,
like very beneficial as well. So that's why I've been trying to get into that, just because I know the lead quality that you can get from YouTube is great. Even if the viewership and your subscribers are kind of low, it does not matter because like the quality of the people watching it, that's what really matters, you know. So but yeah, those are all the different means that I'm doing right now to acquire clients. Oh, and then Upwork. That's another one. I usually go on Upwork, I'll buy a bunch of Connex, and then I send like 10 or 20 connections like every single day to I'll just
yeah,
refresh the Meta ads specialist page and I just hire as a freelancer, and then I try to take them off the application to get on contract. So that
yeah,
way I'm not paying Upwork fees and stuff. But I mean they're needing, I've got like 2 or 3 clients from Upwork doing that.
yeah. Yeah, got it. Out of all of those methods, which ones work the best? Or like which one is getting you the 80% of your clients?
I would say right now, I mean, I just tried Facebook groups, but technically that was like one of the best ones. One of the best responses is Facebook groups. And then the other one I would say that I'm getting the best clientele is Upwork, actually. That was kind of like a surprising one.
Yeah.
It was like the two best ones as of right now. I'm actually thinking of switching up my ad campaign just because I was trying to do multiple different things. I'm testing different methods because I don't know if you know Cole Gordon. He does like a short form. He talks about a short form funnel. And to be honest, I think that's how I actually found you, was like I was looking up short form funnel stuff. And then, but that's what I was testing right now. But I'd say like the Facebook group's number one. And then the second one right now is probably Upwork. But I'm just testing like a ton of things right now, trying to see what works.
Yeah, because if I was in your position, this is just like my advice and from my experience, I would try and dial in more of what's working and remove the things that aren't working. Because obviously to scale your revenue right now, you could do something more, better or new. And I don't think doing new is the right move for like 99% of people. I think just
Yeah.
doing more and better of what you're currently doing to get clients.
Mm.
I think especially because you have a few clients, all you need to do is just find like your growth lever, which is like the 20% effort you put in that gets you 80% of your results. So if that's Facebook groups, it's just doing like more and better of that, or like Upwork, it's doing more and better of Upwork instead of trying to
Yeah.
branch out. Because I see that quite commonly as a mistake. A load of people try and do like TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram.
Whole works. Yeah.
It's super hard to make all of them work because like especially if you're doing cold DMs, you have to respond quickly in order to like ideally engage the lead in a
The one.
conversation and put them in, right? So if you've got messages coming in and out of like all platforms, it's going to be hard just because your attention is so diversified. But I think, yeah, it's good because you have clients, I guess, so you can, yeah, just like find your growth lever and just dial that
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Huge.
that's really what it comes down to at this point, you know. And it's good to have clients because then you got the cash flow to like just
Yeah.
take it back, throw it back into the business, so that way you know you can test different things. So, but yeah. Oh, and then cold calling was another one. That one was fucking like really good, but it takes like a lot of time because you got to find like the right like the right offer, because you got to get past the gatekeeper. And so sometimes, like I was calling dentists and doctors one time, like I was calling hundreds, and I could not get past the gatekeeper. I couldn't talk to the dentist, you know, I just could not do it. And now I've hit, and I've kind of keep this on the DL, but I've now found a new niche that now I can just tap in and like schedule a shitload of appointments because I can talk to the right person almost every single time, which has made it much better. Like almost like it's like the Google call link that you push,
Yeah.
it's the person's freaking number. It's like their cell phone. So it's like, what better way to get these people than like their actual cell phone? So, but I guess it's just the niche that I've picked, that gives me the ability to actually reach the right person.
Yeah, got it. So yeah, I think cold calling as well is like one of the easiest ways to get clients. It's just one of the like the hardest if you're starting out and you've never done it before. I mean, what
Yes.
did you do to because I'm sure some people watch this who like want to maybe do cold calling, they understand the power of it. Like if you can just speak to like the actual business owner, it's going to be so effective. Like what made you or like what's your advice to someone starting calling who's maybe never sold before, like a bit nervous? Like what did you do to get over it?
I honestly, man, it might sound cliche. It's just like picking up the phone, so start calling and hoping for the best, you know. But I usually like what I find is like the best way is always sound like concerned or confused when you
Mm,
call. You know,
yeah,
I always am like, hey, can you handle like another 5 or 10 appointments? Like as if I'm calling to schedule
yeah,
5 or 10 appointments, and then it at least gets me to the next line. It's yes or no. Because sometimes you'll call them and they don't even need our service because they're stacked up as it is, so it doesn't even matter. But it at least like clears the groundwork, so I'm not like wasting time talking about random things. And I just try to talk as if I'm like their buddy. You know, I use bro, bruh, what's up, dude? And just kind of keep it really chill. And then, talk with, and then once they're like interested in it, I go like, well, listen, if I could get you 5, 10 appointments over the next 30 days, and worst thing that happens is you don't pay me. So I mean, is it worth like a quick 15, 30 minute chat? And even if they try to get off, I try to convince them that there's nothing to lose to get on the call. They
yeah,
have everything to gain. And so it at least allows me to get past a lot of the objections because they feel like I'm the one at loss and they're the one to gain. Because all I'm trying to do is just get them on the call. That's it. And then from there I'll figure out a way to close them. So, but yeah, I think that even when you're closing them, it's just you just got to do it because the more reps and sets you have, that's really what it comes down to because that's what makes you better. And the cold calling, not a lot of people do it, which means there's a lot of opportunity when you do cold calling as well.
yeah. I
So
think that's interesting. Like to actually be grateful for the fact that it is hard because that means not many people are going to do it. So the competition's actually low, meaning
yeah,
it's really easy to do it if you
yeah.
can just get yourself to pick up the phone, like you're saying. And after a week or two of doing it, like it's totally comfortable. It's just the initial like probably first 100 calls you do. It's going to be scary, but
Your
yeah,
heart,
I
your
think
heart, your heart races.
yeah,
It,
yeah, yeah. But I mean, yeah, like with anything, it becomes extremely comfortable if you actually do it. I think
yeah,
another interesting topic is like risk reversal, and like what you're saying in your offer, you explain that like they've got nothing to lose, and I think that's really important because I always express the importance of like loss aversion in the community about like if I were to give you $100, you'd be X happy, but if I were to take it away, you'd be double as unhappy. So
right.
I think people just hate losing, so I think that's good thing that you do. I don't know if you want to walk through like your, I mean, yeah, you go for it because I know you're going to say
Oh no,
something.
I was gonna say you talk about Alex Ramosi a lot. Have an
Yeah,
offer is good, so good that you'd be
yeah,
stupid for saying no, right? And then and a lot of it comes from the risk reversal that like you have everything to gain. I have everything to lose, right? Just all you got to do is just say yes. And once you put it like that, it just makes it so much easier because now you're taking away as much friction as possible. I actually met Cole Gordon's his like guy that runs all of his ads, does all of his like creative design. His name is Aaron. Actually got to meet him down in Miami the other week. And he kind of gave me some insight, but he says all reduce friction, or he goes like increase quantity, then add friction is like his concept, So like, but how do you add quality is like reduce the friction as much as possible. And then once you want to really like vet out your leads, add the friction into the conversation. So
yeah. Interesting. What's your pricing? So yeah, it makes sense how yeah, I understand, and the viewers probably understand now about how you get appointments in terms of you've got different, obviously, platforms, Upwork, Facebook groups, cold calling. That's what's been most effective. And you get them on the appointments by offering them a really good offer, which makes sense. And in terms of the pricing, I'm curious to hear what your pricing is for clients. Obviously, I mean, it makes sense because you said it, you signed a 2,500 clients, so. Yeah, is it just a retainer or do you do any like pay in fulls?
So that's a great question. So I'm kind of like in the midst of changing it up. So initially, what I was doing is I was charging, and this is what I've been doing lately, is I would charge like a monthly retainer for 3 months. So usually
Mm,
I would charge anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000, whether they wanted me to run like just their Facebook ads, their Google ads. But that's what I was typically charging. But now I've kind of changed it up now. So I'm going to be charging $4,000 up front with no monthly retainer. It's all performance
yeah,
based. So that way they like it because the $4,000 is not going to be continual, but I get more money up front. But in addition to that, I only choose brands that have $1,000 plus offers or like niches that have $1,000 plus offers because then I'll just take 10% of that. So that way it is performance based. And so they're more willing to say yes to that because it's one price up front, but they're getting all this value and then they can keep me on indefinitely without having to worry about paying a retainer. So that's kind of been my new offer that I'm doing right now. That way I can take more money. It's just something I learned from, I was reading, because again, you mentioned Alex Hormozi, read $100 million offers, and he talked about this thing where just increase your upfront price, get more monetary value upfront, and then go based off performance. You'll see the offers do much, much better that way. So, but that's what I'm going in this time with, is keeping it at 4,000 with performance based thereafter.
Yeah, I think that's smart because especially if you, and this applies to like anyone, if you know how long clients would stay with you on a monthly basis, let's say it's like 3 months, like what you're saying, and let's say it's just 1K a month to make the maths easy, you can just add LTV just by charging 4K upfront.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've increased the lifetime value, which is amazing. And also performance, like you've got skin in the game. So I think it's yeah, just a wonderful pricing structure because you'll get better results because you charge more, they're more invested and willing to help you actually get results as well. And you obviously there's skin in the game for you getting them results over time with the performance. Yeah, I think that's really interesting. Yeah,
It definitely helps because again, man, I always hear this performance, 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 and so it's like, okay, well, let's just throw the performance in there, but you got to pay a little bit more upfront. So, in not to mention, the more you charge too, the better the quality the clients get. Because trust me,
yeah,
I've worked, and you probably have worked with clients that just are on a small budget and they
mm,
get way too emotional about like everything, and it gets frustrating because there's only so much you can do as an advertiser with like a $10, $20 a day budget. It's like it's really hard to get good results, and then they get pissed off, when a month, 2 months, 3 months go by, and they don't have those results. So it's just better because even if you can charge more, you're going to you're attract better clientele, which is going to make your life easier, which is going to allow you to get better results for them. So then that way you can get better testimonials.
yeah, awesome. Do you include so obviously do you include the ad spend in the 4K or like in addition? I assume it's on top of the 4K, but I could
It's
be
on
wrong.
top.
And then okay, on top. And then secondly, you mentioned AI. Are you using like the AI bot after they opt in? Is that how it works or is there
Yeah,
something?
I tell them that I cover like all the costs of the CRM because I'm
Yeah.
using your guys' CRM. And then
Yeah.
secondly, I use all the bots, which I cover the cost. And if they want to ever cancel,
Mm.
they can keep the bots for $500 a month. That's what my thing was. So that way I could still make money even if I lose them at like worst case scenario. So that was going to be my concept because once all those workflows are up, I mean, you'd be dumb to like say no to those because it's just allowing you to interact with all your clientele. So it allows me at least a little bit of leverage that if they were to like, it helps my churn rate because technically, is there really a churn rate when I'm still getting $500 a month and then they decide to keep stuff in house? Like, it's going to help my churn rate quite a bit because I think it's like one out of every two people that you get, it usually will leave sometimes. And that's why I'm like, okay, well, how do I maintain consistent financial income on these clients, to get as much money? Because I've done dropshipping e-com before, and that was like the big thing was like subscriptions because that allows you to keep funding the business. If you don't
Yeah.
have that, like ads are going to get too expensive, performance will go down. So it just allows you to have more money. But that's what I was going to do, on the back end.
Yeah, I see a lot of people running with that now, like we were saying about having like a time frame for like a program, like 3 months or whatever, whether it's done for you, done with you, and then after you get the pay in full, and you do the time frame of like 3 months or whatever, you can so easily offload them, downsell them into like a yeah, into just the CRM where they can keep it because they've already got that in their business now.
Yep.
So I think yeah, I just love Go High Level for it being so sticky that it's just in their business, so they kind of have to pay you each month if you can get them and their calendar on Go High Level. You can get their like pipeline on Go High Level. It's like they're going to continually pay you forever, pretty much.
You have so much leverage, and then I always add them as a staff member because then that means I
Yeah,
have the leverage in this. Because you had mentioned that, so that's what I did, and so now everybody that comes on, they just get staff member accounts. So now I got all the pool, so they can't just kick me out and take the account, right? So now it allows me to have the leverage in the conversation where they have to have me on if they want to keep the pipelines and keep the workflows and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's why it's so easy for you guys because I just submit a new email, boom,
yeah,
get a new account set up. But I mean, that alone, cost me, I think I was looking at GHL, I think it costs like $250 a
yeah,
month alone to have GHL to have unlimited accounts. So literally, with your program
yeah,
alone, you're already making your money back just off GHL alone, right? So that's why it's just like it would be dumb to not join the program because you're already getting a better deal. And then on top of that, you're getting all the workflows, which in my opinion are easily, I don't know, $2,000, $3,000. Like it has to be, just because of how in depth those suckers are. It would be dumb,
yeah.
so if anybody like who is watching this, I highly recommend it just because like you're getting your value worth as soon as you process your first credit card payment. You go cancel GHL at that point.
Yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate that. I've tried to make it as easy and cheap for everyone as possible. Like it's great for beginners as well. You just don't want to pay for go high
Mm.
level. Like you get all the automations included, as well as coaching as well. Like there's so much more to it, but it's
Yeah,
great
because you
training.
get the mentorships, you get the I think you
Yeah,
have a call almost every single day, right? And there's just so many different kind of variables in value. Because I mean, the money that you would save from not having to invest in GHL, then you could go take that to invest in all these other platforms, these other applications.
yeah,
That's just gonna be exponential to your business, or at least give you better quality, performance for all your clients because now you're following up with all their leads. Because I would be honest, when you guys start getting your clients, one of the things I start realizing is they're not really good with their own sales process and following up and this. And so if you can kind of take that off their hands, they're going to get better results, which is going to make you look a lot better because they're so quick to point the finger. So you got to be like ahead of the game by making sure that their pipeline, their sales structure is good because you could be pulling in the greatest leads ever, but if somebody can't close and follow up,
yeah.
you're going to fall behind. So that's why again, those workflows help so much.
Yeah, 100%. I appreciate it. I'll let you hop off because I know you've got a call now. But yeah, it was great talking to you. I'll probably leave for those watching. I'll probably leave a social of yours in the description, so hopefully you can get a few followers or whatever. But
Appreciate
yeah,
it,
I'll
bro.
catch you soon. And yeah, you're definitely close to taking off. If you could hire a VA just to replace the way in which you're getting clients, so you can sort of step away and just focus on sales and fulfillment. I think that's going to be super powerful. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your progress.
Hey, I appreciate, bro. Appreciate all the insights and everything like that, and excited to keep sharing the journey the whole way. So, but yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Awesome. Yeah, talk to you soon.